Intersectoral action is about the relationships between different sectors. To promote health, and particularly to promote health equity, it can't all be done within the health sector. That many factors outside of the healthcare system actually influence health status. So education, social services, transportation, other sectors like that need to collaborate with health, or rather, people in health need to collaborate with other sectors to promote health in the very broad sense.
The success factors involved in making collaboration like that work is that people need to believe that you have their interests at heart as much as your own. So there's something about not allowing it to be a self-serving ask that I think is really important. A big piece of it has been, I think, us being willing to show up at the table, not just to take, but also to give as much as we can, you know, by way of skill back. We have tried not to overcomplicate things. So we are not going in with rigid rules and expectations and boxes within which, you know, people have to play yet. We're openly asking people to help us define that, shape that as we go, to figure out what those things need to be. And I think it's been a little bit freeing to go through the process in that way. Our police department, when we started to ask them about data, they're kind of excited and almost giddy at the idea that somebody was really interested in their data and that it might actually tell a compelling picture. So we're hoping that we'll see more and more of that, because I think, you know, the basis of a good collaboration can start with that level of excitement that people have around knowing that what they have is of value beyond their own organization. So that's what we're hoping to capitalize on. And the story remains to be told. You know, we'll see how far we get and what the limitations of this are going to be as we move forward.
Intersectoral collaboration between public health and other sectors involved in mental health promotion and substance use prevention. And so we're using social network analysis to explore the possibilities for collaboration among different sectors.
Supported by our regional intersectoral committee, in the sense that a lot of the advocacy efforts we were speaking about needed intersectoral support, and even though one agency around the table might be the target of an individual policy option, recognizing that jointly we own this together and being able to speak about it as an intersectoral strategy was hugely supportive.
The Overcoming Poverty Together strategy was successful because of the fact that their different sectors were at the table together. It was government, it was nonprofit, it was business, and it was citizens. It was everyone within the province of New Brunswick, the people of New Brunswick, that came together, sat at the table and said, we have an issue of poverty that we need to look at. How can we work together? How can we break down the silos? How can we come together at the table and decide what we're going to do for the betterment of all New Brunswickers?
We measure our work with a series of progress indicators, where we have hired an independent firm to look at the indicators, where we will have some clear answers on the reduction of poverty in the whole province. And there are some set goals in different fields they're coming out of the 22 actions from the poverty reduction plan, and time will tell us how we're doing with the overall results of the plan.
An initiative called Live Safe, which looks at specifically crime prevention, but really looking at the social determinants of crime. And so really, it really is recognizing that as having a common agenda. So how do we reach out and think about the people who, for them, their important effort that they want to push forward is around crime prevention and promoting Live Safe and crime prevention through social development, recognizing we're really on the same page, and how do we start to spark a collective dialogue where we recognize what the commonalities of what we're both doing and find ways to put our efforts together in the same common direction.
So our strength is to bring all the different partners together, and we're continuing to grow and expand and invite new partners to come to our table to be part of the plan, so it's for the betterment of all New Brunswickers.
We had to work with the community around accepting this project and working with us, interpreting, facilitating, picking up the people and bringing them to the project. And at the end of the day, it was incredibly successful And it was successful because everybody believed in what could happen. And so we made it happen.
Public health practice has both the privilege and the challenge of being able to participate at lots of levels or come to many tables and have our role be a little bit nebulous. So having a role that's not really clearly defined or that people don't really know what to expect of a public health approach to health equity means it gives you lots of flexibility to find opportunities or to participate with lots of different action. So to me it's the experience, if I think about how I feel when I'm doing that kind of work, it would be as if I was paddling my canoe on a very windy day and I know there's a direction I want to go across across to a distant shore, but at the same time there's all sorts of wind and waves and other boats and all sorts of things happening. So there's this sense of purposeful chaos. And I think that's actually, for some people, very uncomfortable, but probably just the reality that if we are not bouncing around a little bit and we're not being very flexible and nimble and changing course because a new opportunity came up or deciding to do something a little bit different to accommodate a partner that has a slightly different agenda, if we're not bouncing around and jiggling and readjusting on a constant basis, we're probably missing opportunities. But we can't let ourselves get so blown off course that we forget sort of the direction that we're trying to go.